every fate worse than death in Eastern mythology explained. The torture of the West has Sisyphus, condemned to push his boulder up the mountain for eternity. The East has Wu Gong. Wu Gong stands on the surface of the moon, axe raised, striking the trunk of the osmanthus tree, the gooey Su, you can hear it, the crack of the blade biting into immortal wood, the whisper of leaves falling, the tree splits, and before the splinters hit the lunar dust, the wound closes, the bark knits itself whole as if his swing never happened. Again and again, forever. According to the Shanhai Jing and later Taoist texts, Wu Gong was a mortal who sought immortality but lacked patience. He abandoned his studies, tried to shortcut the Tao, attempted to force enlightenment through arrogance. The Jade Emperor's punishment is perfectly calibrated. Wu Gong was impatient, so now he has eternity to contemplate a task that will never end. Every swing is hope. Every healed wound is despair. The torture isn't the labor, it's the cycle of false progress. But futility can be quiet. The next curse is loud. The torture of decay, Ashwatthama, from China to India, from the Shanhai Jing to the Mahabharata. Ashwatthama was a warrior, son of Dronakarya, one of the greatest fighters in the Kurukshetra war. When his father was killed, Ashwatthama broke. In his rage, he used the Brahmastra, a forbidden celestial weapon, on the womb of Uttara, killing the unborn child inside. Krishna did not forgive this. The god stripped the jewel from Ashwatthama's forehead, the gem that gave him power and protection, and pronounced the curse. Ashwatthama would roam the earth for 3,000 years. The wound on his forehead would never heal. It would ooze blood and pus continuously. His body would rot, but never die. He would smell of decay, festering flesh, infection, the sweet, sick stench of gangrene, so repulsive no one could stand near him. He would wander alone, begging for death, and death would never come. The horror of Ashwatthama isn't pain. It's degradation. He is a living corpse, a walking wound. He cannot hide. He cannot heal. He cannot die. In some versions, people claim to have seen him in remote forests and caves in India, still wandering, still bleeding, still begging for an end that will not come for another 1,000 years. This is the curse of irreversible consequence. 1 moment of rage, 3 millennia of rot. The torture of endurance, Yao Bhikkhuni, from India to Japan, from decay to time. Yao Bhikkhuni was a fisherwoman's daughter. One day, her father brought home strange meat from the sea. The family ate it. It was the flesh of a ningyo, a mermaid. In Japanese folklore, eating mermaid flesh grants immortality. Yao Bhikkhuni lived, and lived and lived. She didn't rot like Ashwatthama. She didn't labor like Wu Gong. She simply endured. 800 years. She wasn't alone at first. She had children. She watched them grow old and die. She had grandchildren. She watched them grow old and die. She had great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, descendants she could no longer name, and she watched them all die. Again and again, for 8 centuries. Eventually, she became a Buddhist nun, not out of faith, but out of desperation. She needed to escape. She wandered Japan until she found a cave in Wakasa province, and she sat down, and she refused to leave. She meditated in that cave for decades, waiting for death, knowing it would never come. When she finally died at age 800, the villagers built a temple, but the story asks, was it honor or relief that the woman who could not die had finally stopped? Yao Bhikkhuni's torture wasn't physical, it was emotional. The curse of memory, the grief of watching everyone you love turn to dust while you remain, unchanging, alone. The torture of control, Sun Wukong. From endurance to subjugation, from Japan back to China. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, the great sage equal to heaven. He ate the peaches of immortality, stole the elixir, defied the Jade Emperor, and battled 100,000 celestial soldiers to a standstill. He was unkillable, unstoppable. Then the Buddha buried him under a mountain for 500 years. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst came when he was freed, when the monk Xuanzang pulled him from the rock and placed the Jingu Quan, the golden headband, on his head. Soon Wukong thought it was a crown. He didn't know it was a collar. Guanyin, the bodhisattva of mercy, had 3 headbands for the demons joining the journey to the west: the golden, the constrictive, and the prohibitive. Each caused different levels of pain. Soon Wukong, the most dangerous and rebellious, received the most painful: the golden headband. When Xuanzang chants the tightening sutra, the band contracts, not like a headache, like white-hot iron crushing inward, bone compressing against brain, flesh tearing from the inside. The text describes him rolling on the ground, clawing at his temples until his fur is matted with blood, begging, screaming for mercy. He cannot remove it. He flew to the edge of the cosmos. He begged Guanyin. He threatened Xuanzang. Nothing worked. This is the leash on the ultimate rebel. Soon Wukong could fight heaven, shatter armies, mock gods, but he cannot fight the will embedded in his own flesh. The Jingu Quan doesn't kill him. It breaks him. It turns rebellion into obedience, freedom into slavery. The torture of irony, General Shinwi, from China to Korea, from subjugation to irony. In Korean mythology, death has a face, many faces. They are called the Jusung Sahja, the grim reapers of the underworld. They come for your soul when your time is up. General Shinwi decided he would not go. He was clever. He studied the reapers. He learned their weaknesses. Orange trees, they hate the smell of orange blossoms. Silver, it hides the soul from their vision. So General Shinwi planted an entire grove of orange trees around his estate. He wore a silver needle embedded in his scalp, hidden beneath his hair, to mask his presence. And it worked. The Jusung Saja came for him. They searched his estate. They walked right past him. They could not find his soul. Confused, they left. General Shinwi had cheated death. But his family didn't know that. They saw his body lying still. No breath, no heartbeat. They assumed he was dead. They mourned. They held the funeral, and they buried him. When the reapers finally gave up and left, General Shinwi's soul returned to his body. His eyes opened, his lungs filled with air, and he realized where he was, 6 feet underground, in a sealed coffin, in total darkness. He could feel the wood inches from his face, smell the fresh-turned earth, hear nothing but his own breathing growing faster, faster. He screamed. He clawed at the wood until his fingers bled. No one could hear him. No one was coming. General Shinwi cheated death, so death cheated him back. He didn't die. He's still there, buried alive, forever, conscious, aware, trapped in a box in the earth, screaming into the darkness with no one to hear. This is the curse of irony. He got exactly what he wanted, immortality, and it became the worst fate imaginable. The torture of bureaucracy, the Dragon King of Jinghe, from Korea back to China, from irony to bureaucracy. The Dragon King of the Jinghe River was a god, a literal deity with dominion over rain and rivers. He made a bet with a fortune teller about when rain would fall and how much. The Jade Emperor sent him orders: rain at a specific hour, a specific amount. To win the bet, the Dragon King disobeyed. He altered the rainfall by 3 inches and 1 hour. Heaven does not forgive disobedience. The sentence was death. But the horror deepens. The Dragon King was executed by a mortal. Wei Zheng, a minister to Emperor Taizong of the Tang dynasty, was commanded by heaven to carry out the execution in a dream. Wei Zheng fell asleep during a game of chess. In the dream world, he raised the executioner's sword and beheaded the Dragon King, a god killed by a human in a space between reality and thought. But death wasn't the end. The Dragon King became a headless ghost, unable to move on. He haunted Emperor Taizong. Night after night, the ghost appeared at the palace gates, screaming without a mouth, bleeding without blood, demanding justice that would never come. Taizong was so terrified he couldn't sleep. He ordered his 2 greatest generals, Qin Sooth Bao and Yui Chirgung, to stand guard outside his bedroom door every night, fully armored, weapons drawn. The ghost did not appear when the generals stood watch. Eventually, exhausted, the emperor had their images painted on the doors instead. This is the origin of Mern-Shern, the door gods. To this day, during Chinese New Year, you see those fierce painted warriors on red paper pasted to doorways across China, still guarding against the headless Dragon King who died for altering rainfall by inches. The Dragon King's punishment wasn't execution, it was becoming a wound in reality so terrifying his rage became woven into the cultural memory of an entire civilization. The ultimate torture, Mengpuo and the soup of forgetfulness, and that brings us to the ultimate torture, the one that waits for all of us. Mengpuo stands at the Naihe Bridge, the bridge of helplessness, at the edge of Diyue, the Chinese underworld. Every soul that dies must cross, and before they do, they drink. The 5-flavored soup of forgetfulness. It tastes of sweet, sour, bitter, spicy, and salty, every flavor of life condensed into one cup. You drink it and you forget. Your mother's face, your own name, your children's laughter, the person you loved, the person you were. Then you cross the bridge and reincarnate. New life, new body, new chance. But here's the question. Is it mercy or murder? Some souls refuse. They scream. They fight. They will not forget. They believe love is stronger than the cycle, that memory is worth any price. Mengpuo doesn't force them. She points to the river. They are thrown into the river of forgetfulness beneath the bridge, into water so cold it burns, so bitter it chokes. They suffer there for 1,000 years, drowning, reviving, drowning again, until the water strips away their memories anyway. And when they finally reincarnate, they bear a mark. Folklore says birthmarks or moles on the chest or neck are signs of those who refused the soup and were tortured in the river. Check yourself right now. Do you have one? According to the myth, you were stubborn in a past life. You chose suffering over forgetting, and it didn't matter. You forgot anyway. You survived death. Your soul persists. But you, the constellation of memories, attachments, loves, dreams, do not survive. The person who died is gone, erased. A different consciousness wears your soul like a hand-me-down coat. Mengpuo doesn't kill you. She kills who you are. This is the curse of samsara. We are trapped in a loop we cannot remember. We lose everyone we love, not once, but infinitely. We die 1,000 deaths and forget every single one. The West fears hell, fire, and torment. The East fears something quieter, more absolute, the loss of connection, the dissolution of self. The worst fate isn't suffering, it's forgetting you ever suffered at all. From futility to decay, from endurance to control, from irony to bureaucracy, to the ultimate erasure of self, these are the fates worse than death across China, India, Japan, and Korea. Which of these eternities would you fear the most? If you enjoyed this journey through Eastern mythology, please like and subscribe for more. Until next time.